Welcome to Building Sophisticated Conversational AI Experiences. I'm Chris Brown, a principal consultant of natural language AI in AWS Professional Services, where we help customers build conversational AI experiences.
Hi, everybody. I am Sandeep Srinivasan. I am a product manager on the Amazon Lex team. I'm responsible for the definition and delivery of features for Amazon Lex, so you can actually build sophisticated experiences, conversational AI. Today, we are going to talk about conversational interfaces, or chatbots, as they may be known. We'll see how we are seeing them used in the contact center. First, we'll talk about migrating IVRs, or interactive voice response systems, and propose a few approaches to migrate. Then we'll talk about how you can actually optimize the experience. How can you customize and personalize experiences with conversational AI so you can improve containment and customer satisfaction. Following that, we will also share how you can expand the conversational AI footprint across the enterprise. Specifically, we'll focus on some of the tools we are building for the developers so you can design, build, and deploy at scale. And finally, we'll also talk about getting started with some of the pre-built solutions that we have available for you. Today, we have a packed agenda, so let's get right into it.
Let's start with a quick overview of conversational interfaces, some of the services you can use to build out these conversational experiences, and the benefits. We offer a broad range of natural language AI services in our portfolio. Starting from the left, you have Comprehend for natural language processing, Kendra for intelligent search, Lex for conversational AI, all the way up to Transcribe for speech recognition, and Translate for translation. You can enable self-service experiences using these three services from our portfolio: Lex, Poly, and Kendra. The focus of our discussion today will be on Lex, how you can migrate, optimize, and expand your conversational experiences using Lex. Conversational interfaces are natural. You can use language to interact with them, as opposed to navigating through complex menus. They're on demand, ready to engage when you need them, 24/7. You don't have to go through any setup or configuration. They're accessible, since you can interact using voice, hands-free, and they're efficient. You directly get to the point by asking a question or starting a transaction. Amazon Lex is a service for building conversational interfaces into your contact center or any application using voice or text. Lex uses high-quality speech recognition that is natively integrated into the service, providing high performance. It uses 8 kilohertz telephony models that provide better performance on telephony networks. As a fully managed service, you don't have to worry about managing or scaling the infrastructure. You can take care of that. We take care of that for you. You can easily deploy one-click deployments with tools to support this process, as you will see today. Lastly, it natively integrates with other AWS services, so you can streamline the entire experience, all with the scalability and security that AWS provides. We launched Lex over 5 years ago. During this time, we have learned from observing how our customers use the service and how we incorporate this feedback to improve the experience. If you take a look back, in the first couple of years, we saw several POCs. Customers were still kicking the tires. As use cases matured, we saw a few customers willing to invest. But the conversational experiences were still relatively simple in nature. Over the last year, we are observing mainstream use of Lex for customer service automation. We appreciate the feedback from our customers, and we continue to work backwards from their requirements for innovation in this space. We have seen broad adoption across insurance, financial services, and travel, to name a few industries. Customers are using Lex to automate customer service experiences in their contact center. For example, Liberty Mutual Insurance used Lex to improve the response time and quality of their service for end customers. Now let's hear a quick demo so you can hear Lex in action for yourself.
Hi, welcome to Acme Bank Customer Service. To get started, please tell me your customer number.
123456.
Thanks, Diego. How can I help? You can check account balances, order checks, or change your address.
What's the balance in my checking account?
Diego, the balance for your checking account is $294.05. Is there anything else I can help with?
Transfer $500 from my savings account.
Okay, ready to transfer $500 from your savings account to your checking account. Shall I make the transfer?
Yes.
Okay, $500 will be transferred from your savings account to your checking account. The transfer will be complete within 1 business day. Is there anything else I can help with?
I need to change my address.
Please tell me your new zip code.
47302.
Okay, what's your new street address?
501 West Memorial Drive.
Okay, your new address is 501 West Memorial Drive, Muncie, Indiana, 47302, USA. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, your address has been updated. Is there anything else I can help with?
No thanks.
Thank you for reaching out. Have a great day.
All right, with that background, let's dive into today's topics, starting with migration. I'll pass it to Sandeep to cover this topic.
Thank you, Chris. So you saw so far how the conversational interfaces have evolved, the benefits they provide. Let's see how we can use them in context of improving customer service experience. Let's take contact centers. It's normal that you may have experienced a menu-driven phone system when you called into a bank, very different from the demo that Chris just showed you. In the menu, it could be press 1 to know your balance, press 2 for address change, and so on and so forth. Such a directed dialogue experience is a source of frustration for many callers because it is rigid. But there may be valid reasons why you may want to have that kind of experience. So whatever the reason may be, you have the opportunity to migrate even such legacy experiences to the Amazon Lex infrastructure, make use of our conversational AI innovations, and actually make good on the promise of improving customer experience, make it conversational, and increase customer satisfaction. On the topic of contact center, let's see what some of the typical IVR use cases here are. One of the first primary use cases for an IVR is the ability for the IVR to route the call to the right agent queue. Another use case for an IVR is to capture information from the caller, such as the account ID, make a determination on their account status, maybe they are a premium customer, and then send them to a specialized queue based on what we find out about the caller. A third use case for the IVR is to be able to answer FAQs, and this comes usually as a pre-verification step, and then route the call to an agent. The fourth use case, and this is our North Star, is to provide the entire self-service experience through conversational AI. We have seen some enterprises have been able to do this, where they can collect information from the customer, verify them, answer FAQs along the way, and actually also complete the transaction, which is, if you take an example of making a payment at a bank, making a payment on your credit card, that's what we're talking about. So that is our North Star. We want to be able to help you migrate your experiences to Amazon Lex and provide this entire experience through conversational AI. When we think about migrating an IVR, typically it would require that you consume an IVR configuration that's typically stored in grammar and VXML or voice XML files and create a similar experience on the AWS infrastructure. A VXML file typically corresponds to an Amazon Lex bot. An input typically corresponds to a dialog prompt, and a grammar corresponding to the dialog prompt is converted to a Lex grammar slot type. A connect contact flow can call any of the bots using the get customer input block. Now, ultimately, you can create this experience. You can migrate your legacy experience using the migration pattern that I just described easily to the AWS infrastructure, but keep in mind that the experience itself does not change. Yet, when you move to the AWS infrastructure, you now unlock the potential to transform the customer service experience. You can actually use conversational AI to change this experience. When you move your legacy experience as is, we call it a lift and shift, it does not change anything for the caller. They do not really notice any change. But on the other side, because you're on the AWS side for the conversation design, you now have the ability to improve that experience. Let's talk about migration scenarios. The first one is a continuation of what I was just describing, which is the lift and shift. Now, the source and the target experience here really does not change from an experience perspective. So when you do a lift and shift, like I was mentioning earlier, the caller or the customer does not really notice any change in experience. To them, it's all the same flow. But the good news for you is you can get this done with minimal effort. The other advantages you have is by moving to the AWS infrastructure, you can actually take benefits of the AWS infrastructure at your own pace. And ultimately, you optimize the developer effort. And if you do not have the resources at hand to migrate your IVR right away, this is the right choice. An example or a condition for this is, if you think about contact center migrations, usually this is a multi-month effort. Maybe you are migrating your ACD, your workforce management, but you may not have the resources to migrate your IVR. So this is probably the right way to go. Now, let's take a look at the second one, where you can build your IVR from the ground up. Now, this is the preferred approach, assuming that you have resources at hand, as well as the ability to control the project, which is you have the timeline under your control. You can use our pre-built solutions and the automated chatbot designer, which we will talk about in just a few minutes, to create brand new experiences from scratch. You can incorporate the latest innovations, but also, because you are building everything from scratch, this is your opportunity to create a clean architecture from the ground up. Now, the third approach here is a combination of the first two, which is a hybrid. You may want to migrate a few flows, but you may also want to build some flows from the ground up. So if you want to migrate only a few flows, what may be the reason? It could be a tactical resourcing problem, or it's possible that you are envisioning a target experience for which you do not have the right APIs at hand. Whatever the reason may be, you can run your IVR in a hybrid format of migrating some flows and creating some from scratch. And you have the ability to use our resources such as our built-ins, our industry grammars to get started, as well as to supplement some of your flows. Before we move on, I do want to spotlight grammar support. We introduced support for grammars on Lex recently. With grammar support, you can define rules that follow the SRGS format or the speech recognition grammar specification format. Now, grammars can be handy. We've published some industry grammars. These can be handy, especially in a lift and shift scenario. But even going beyond, you can use ECMA scripts that are available with the grammar slot type to build post-processing logic. As an example, you can build rules to convert a phrase like first week of Q4 can be converted to 1st October to 7th October. Or to use complex input patterns such as the UK postal code or the IBAN, which is the international bank account number. So the ECMA scripts are available with the grammar slot type, like I was saying. The grammar slot type allows you to create complex rules in a simple manner. And the ECMA script allows you to easily use the grammar type and build basic business logic within the conversation. Now, we talked about how you can migrate an experience into Lex, how you can use either a lift and shift model, build something ground up, or do something in a hybrid fashion. But once you have migrated, we want to make sure that you are able to optimize the experience for your customers. Let's see how.
Thanks, Sandeep. Okay, we've migrated the IVR through one of the 3 different approaches, and now you're on Amazon Lex. So what's next? You have to optimize your conversations so you can leverage the most of what conversational AI has to offer. Specifically, you want to customize and personalize the experiences. Such optimization is most applicable to migration scenarios in number 2, scenario that Sandeep described, the build from scratch approach. But even if you are doing a lift and shift or the hybrid approach, the techniques we are about to discuss still apply. Customer service conversations often include brand names, industry jargon, slang, and acronyms. For example, consider conversations related to mortgage loans. As first-time home buyers, people often pick up new terms through the process. Refi, HELOC are a couple of examples. These are now part of their vocabulary. In the same way, we need to help bots pick up these terms as well. We need to teach them this vocabulary also. In the example here, on the left, you see I've added brand names capitalize, shortened form of refi, which means refinance, acronym SBA, and jargon HELOC to the vocabulary, so the bot is now able to transcribe these words and understand them. You can customize the dialogue for more efficient interaction. Let's use an example. You're talking on the phone and didn't quite catch part of the word because of static on the line. If the other party said San Francisco, but you heard San Cisco, you can take a guess that they meant San Francisco by extrapolating. You'd need to confirm that, of course, but you'd have a more efficient dialogue versus the alternative of asking them to repeat what they had just said. Such an intelligent dialogue is possible with Lex. You can transcribe confidence scores to decide on a confirm versus reprompt strategy. If the confidence score is above a certain threshold, for example, 60%, but not very high, like 80%, you can confirm. And if If it's 60% or below, you could try reprompting. Names can be hard as well, but a hint can help. It's common in customer service conversations to use mother maiden names for verification. Customer service agents, for example, already have this information and can see it on their side, which acts as a hint. In a similar way, when you want to collect first names, last names, and you know the expected response, you can optimize by passing the phrase hints to augment the dialogue. It helps drive the speech recognition and performance, and ultimately, the customer satisfaction. How do you capture names that are difficult, even with hints? Or maybe you don't have a hint. Like I said earlier, names can be tough. They can also have alternate spellings. Like, for example, my name can be spelled C-H-R-I-S or K-R-I-S. Or they can be difficult to pronounce and hence transcribe. Well, in such cases, we recommend optimizing by asking the caller to spell Z-A-K, Zach, for example. But some letters are ambiguous. In the English language, the letters P, B, T, and D, or letters that have the sound E, are confusable. This is known as the stretch E problem. You can optimize your dialogue by suggesting the caller uses cues. Z as in zebra, A as in apple, K as in kite. For this example with Zach. Context is critical in conversations. We sometimes use it even without realizing. Consider when you hear the phrase 6:25. Without context, this could mean 6:25 p.m., a time. It could mean a payment amount, $6.25, or it could be a date. You disambiguate on the question that precedes it. For example, if you're eliciting for a credit card expiration date, the user response 6/25 is parsed as June 2025. You can achieve such transcriptions through contextual speech. The same context applies in language. Depending on how the conversation evolves, the same phrase can mean different things. Consider a retail banking conversation. Without prior context, the phrase, "How about savings?" is ambiguous. You can be inquiring about the interest rates of savings. You could be requesting the balance of your savings account. Or you could be discussing a cancellation policy. You should optimize your conversations to take the conversation context into account to interpret the language as well. To summarize, you can optimize the end user experience through customization. You can customize the vocabulary and customize the dialogue. You can also post-process and customize the interpreted input with ECMAScripts. Amazon Lex provides the capabilities so you can achieve these customizations. You should also personalize the experience for more efficient dialogue with callers. Phrase hints are good to capture names. Spelling support, including phonetic cues, are useful for difficult to pronounce or uncommon cases, or uncommon names, I should say. Lastly, you should use context for transcription as well as language to interpret for optimal results. So now I'll pass it off to Sandeep to talk about expanding self-service.
Thank you, Chris. So you've successfully migrated your IVR. You have now optimized it to utilize our latest conversational AI innovations. And with the success of these initial use cases, let's say you want to expand the footprint of conversational AI in the rest of the organization. Question is, how do you scale these experiences without losing momentum and velocity? Let's take a look. Easily expanding self-service. Everybody wants this. Now, a single experience can be built in isolation, but a multitude of experiences, say hundreds of experiences across the organization, will require that you collaborate with multiple teams. It's important that you have a good engagement model, without following which your delivery pipeline will be in disarray. To help you streamline the delivery of these conversational experiences, we have come up with best practices and tools. Specifically, our tools allow you to design, build, test, deploy, and monitor these experiences. Let's take a look at each one of these. Now, every successful experience starts with good conversation design. But this is not always the case, unfortunately. This is the most overlooked component, conversation design. In this session, we don't intend to dive deep into conversation design, but I do want to stress on 3 things. First, quantify the business value by having a plan for efficiency and gaining stakeholder alignment. Second, identify the use cases that you're trying to solve. Actually, write them down the way it is shown on this slide. It says, as a customer of Anywhere Bank, I want to make a payment so that I can pay my bill on time. It says, who is this use case for? What are they doing? What does a successful outcome look like? And third thing here I want to stress on is you want to craft a system personality by working in tandem with marketing. Create a persona that adheres to your brand guidelines, and you have a chatbot solution that is reflective of your brand. Now, this is just an overview. We do have additional resources on our website that can help you craft better conversation design. I strongly urge that you make conversation design part of your delivery plans. Let's talk about the automated chatbot designer. When you think about creating hundreds of experiences, how do you do this efficiently? That's when we thought about creating a chatbot designer that can use your existing transcripts and give you designs. The way it works is you can provide the automated chatbot designer with conversations, say 10,000 conversations that your best performing agent is having with your customers. And the chatbot designer, in turn, is able to provide a bot solution. Now, I will urge you to still design, iterate, and craft the experience the way you want it to be, but at least with a chatbot designer, you have a baseline IVR experience or a bot experience, and this will automatically also save you weeks worth of effort in trying to craft something new. I highly recommend that you use the chatbot designer, especially when you think about scaling your experiences, expanding into the rest of the organization, thinking about what is next, what can we do for our customers. Next up is building conversational experience that you have designed. We have integrated capabilities that allow you to do that. Let's take a couple of use cases. The first one here is an experience where your caller needs some more time. Maybe you've requested them for some information over the call, and they don't have it just yet. Take an example of the caller making a payment on their credit card on the phone. You asked for the credit card details, and maybe their wallet is another room. So with a simple click of a button, you can enable the wait and continue feature on Amazon Lex. That can play periodic updates to the caller and keeps the channel warm. Something like, I'm on hold, we can resume the conversation once you are back with the card details. The flip of this experience is when the bot needs some time. The previous example, it was the caller needing time to complete the transaction. The flip of this experience is the bot needing some time. An example of this is if you're using the bot to make a booking, a travel booking, let's say, and it may take more than a few seconds to complete the transaction. And with a simple click on the Lex console, you enable fulfillment updates that can tell the caller that, hey, thank you for holding. I'm in the process of fulfilling your request. It plays that message periodically, and once the transaction is complete, the bot is able to play a success message. These are just a couple of use cases how you can make the bot more conversational, and you can create these experiences across the organization. Overall, we want to make the bot easier to build. We want to make the experience easier for the builders. The Lex console is easy to use, easy to navigate. It allows for partial saving, ultimately resulting in faster iterations and faster time to market. Our goal, again, is to simplify the builder experience so you can build more. The integrated capabilities and the productivity tools that we have been talking about are available both on the Lex console as well as APIs, and you have the flexibility to choose what to use when you're building these numerous experiences. Okay, so you have designed, you have built the conversational experience, now it's time to test. You can easily do so in the console using the test window. The test window allows you to test with both voice and text. You can also inspect the results in a summary format as well as the JSON structures that are exchanged with the bot. With these building and testing tools, you can quickly iterate the experience that you want to provide for your callers and customers. Once you have built out the experience with the supporting business logic, you are now ready to deploy. We have seen customers follow an account level distinction where they may have separate accounts for dev, stage, and prod. As you think about different stages, it's important for you to be able to navigate these stages. Amazon Lex supports CloudFormation, so you can actually go through these stages and deploy and promote when you're ready. In addition, Amazon Lex also has native integration with Amazon Connect, so you can make the bot available in a contact center setting. Also, it supports one-click integrations with several chat platforms. Just a couple of examples, Facebook Messenger and Slack. Your experience is now in production, and you want to figure out if this is all worth it. You probably also have business owners on your team that want to know how the Lex bot is performing. Are we answering all the questions that the customers are asking? What types of questions are the customers asking? How many conversations is the bot handling? What are the typical conversation paths? You can answer all these questions. Lex supports conversation logs, so you can track the bot performance. You can also build business intelligence dashboards such as these to see how the bot is doing with live conversations. With this information, you can incrementally improve the bot experiences. Now, we discussed how you can build all these bot experiences, but if you are starting out new, Chris has some good news for you on how to get started.
Thanks, Sandeep. So you're probably wondering how you can get started building. So we have some good news for you. We have what we call pre-built solutions. So these are sophisticated, out-of-the-box flows that you can deploy into your account, into your AWS account with one click. They're extensible as well. So once you've deployed them and you've used them, you can make adjustments and tailor them to the appropriate channel based on your needs. And you can also personalize them as well. So you can create, seamlessly create customer rich personalized experiences across omni-channel using things like customer profiles. So we've built these pre-built solutions across the most popular industries. We have pre-built solutions for financial services, insurance, retail, telecom, and travel. So let's take an example. For financial services, we have experiences across credit card, home lending, trading and investment, and also merchant services. So these are really the most popular use cases that you're able to easily deploy and play with right out of the box. Sandeep also mentioned grammars earlier. With grammars, I guess you can't see the slides, but with grammars, you can easily deploy different slot values and complex logic that might be specific to your industry. It's great they're great for migrations, but you can also use them right out of the box with these experiences as well. So to get started, you can start building yourself today with those pre-built experiences. You can engage with professional services, or you can engage with partners as well from our partner network. Great. And you can also get started today by leveraging AWS Skill Builder and AWS certifications to start learning new cloud, about different cloud skills, and it's learning on demand, so you can get started today with learning and getting certified on AWS. We're forward. Back. Okay, cool. All right, so now that the slides are back, we can go through pre-built solutions again really quickly. I know I talked about this, but I'll just go through it again so you can see the slides. So getting started with pre-built solutions is really easy. They're ready conversational experiences that you can deploy with one click into your AWS account, giving you access to some of the most common use cases. These are extensible, so once you've tried them and want to adapt them to your customer needs, you can easily deploy them across your channel of choice. You can personalize these by adding business logic for customer profiles and provide rich omni-channel experiences. I mentioned this already, but these pre-built solutions are available for financial services, insurance, retail, telecom, and travel. In each vertical, we cover the most common use cases for the domain. For example, with financial services, we cover credit card, mortgage, home lending, investing, and merchant services. And you simply select the vertical and deploy the experience with one click. Now that you can see the slide, with industry grammars, for each one of these different verticals or industries, you can use grammars to augment your migrations for complex patterns. All right, so we covered a bit today. We reviewed different migration approaches, which one win, and once you've migrated, how do you optimize? Specifically, the techniques to customize and personalize your conversations. And lastly, we covered the tool sets, processes, and guidelines to scale out your conversational AI across your organization. So let us leave you with a few resources. As I was mentioning earlier, you can get started today by building yourself with our pre-built solutions. You can engage professional services to build out a proof of concept, or you can engage one of our partners from the AWS Partner Network. We encourage you to get engaged with our training and certification content today. Skill Builder is our online learning center and makes it easy for anyone to begin learning cloud skills. Within Skill Builder, take advantage of flexible learning plans, which offer suggested digital courses that align to a specific domain or role. And with that, thank you for attending, and we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you. Sorry, what's the question?
How is this compared to Google's dialogue flow? How is it next compared to Google's dialogue flow?
Yeah, we have some similarities, some differences. Google Dialogflow also in this space is also in this space. We do offer some capabilities like flexible NLU, flexible ASR, bring in your own systems to be able to up-level your experiences. And we are obviously trying to make the conversations more scalable. So, but happy to chat with you if you have any specific questions about Google Dialogflow, any specific requirements, and talk about it. Otherwise, we do see Google Dialogflow in our conversations, but like I said, I'm happy to chat offline about any specific requirements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that the Alexa certification is no longer, what certification would you recommend in order to get the best skill set to build this kind of application?
Do you have that slide on the?
Yeah, the question was, now that the Alexa certification is no longer available, which certification would be the best to get started with in this space? I recommend the machine learning specialty certification. It covers a lot of the natural language services that we offer, and it also goes deep into SageMaker and understanding how machine learning works. So that's a great one to get started with. Yeah.
No, it is. So you can build chatbots with Amazon Lex. That is the ultimate output from Amazon Lex. No, they're the same. So so we talked about conversational AI broadly, but then when you use Amazon Lex, what you ultimately build is a chatbot that is multimodal. You can use it on a voice platform or on a chat platform, but the bot constructs will be available to you like intents and slot types, custom slot types, and all the features that Chris was talking about. Those are also part of your bot experience. And just to extend it out, this is, again, a bot experience that is multimodal, but depending on your use cases, on how you define a chatbot, where you want it available, we can have a follow-up discussion on how we can help you. Yeah. The question is, what is live agent chat, or do we? Yeah. So Lex, as such, is a chatbot, so it's self-service. The idea is to help you contain the call or the chat within a bot. But if you want to extend the experience to a chat, Lex is capable of handing off that conversation to a live agent. But Lex itself does not provide a chat interface or a live agent interface, if you will. So if you wanted the chat to go off to, say, a live person, Twilio, or any of these other platforms that we work with, the Lex platform allows for the Lex solution allows for the handoff.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lex also integrates natively with Amazon Connect, which offers live chat as well, which is our cloud contact center solution.
Yeah, so Amazon Lex today is live with 19 languages, or locales, I should say. Besides EN US, which is English US, we have UK English, Australian English, Indian English, South African English, but then there is some European languages, and we have a plan to roll out to more languages this year. Sorry, what's the question? Yeah, we can look at customizing instead of using Poly. But from a Lex perspective, you have the ability to actually type out the utterances and use voices, but would be good to know how we can support that team. The good thing about Amazon Poly is that it can help you create a brand voice. So there are some distinct advantages using Poly with Amazon Lex, but from a speech-to-text perspective, we can consider looking at customization. Do you have any ideas on that, Chris, about using speech-to-text in place of Poly?
Yeah, if there's other solutions you're interested in, Lex can integrate with third-party solutions as well.
Does that answer your question? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you all.
And enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yep.